Hello there, good morning. I just wanted to record this brief video for you here, kind of as a synopsis for week 6 and a little look ahead into week 7. So here's our course website. Well, here's not our course website, here's my website. Here's our course website, and here's the week 6 cookbook. And I just want to emphasize 2 parts of the cookbook that I really think are important here. This is section 2 and section 6. So let's go to section 2 here briefly. This is section 2 is about qualitative data viz, right? And this is something really important for you to think about in the context of the survey, right? I mean, maybe as scientists, we're used to always having like quantitative data, right? We have X, Y, Z coordinates, or we have some variables we have measured as a time series or something like that, right? And so we're always thinking about, okay, we have to make a line chart, a scatter plot, whatever, sort of a quantitative chart. However, right, the world is full of qualitative data, and as part of surveys, you very often collect qualitative data in addition to quantitative data. So you might have, as shown here, a question that you ask, right, where maybe people in this case can respond with yes and no, or maybe you have a question like in our survey, what is your political affiliation, right? So that might be quantitative data, but then you might also have questions where you have qualitative data. Maybe you just give somebody the opportunity to write down their thoughts. What do you think about the climate change policies of the United States? And then you give people space to write. So you have qualitative data. And so now combining both the quantitative and the qualitative data together as a chart, as a data viz, as a PowerPoint slide really becomes important, right? If you want to tell the story of whatever you've been looking into. So take a look at the qualitative data viz slides here and really think about this as you're thinking about, as you guys are finalizing the 6 America survey for Westfield State, already sort of thinking in the back of your mind, okay, how could I data viz this? Do I have only quantitative data? Are my questions all quantitative? Great. Or do I want to build in the opportunity for people to express their thinking, express their opinions, right? So, so consider that. And then finally, something we really haven't talked about is this issue going all the way back, IRB, the Institutional Review Board process. Hugely important, right? I just want to emphasize this, is that anytime you work with humans, right, you have to really think about that the rights of these humans are protected, right? And so that's usually handled through an IRB process, right, where you have to make sure that your project that you're trying to do is reviewed and then approved by this institutional review board, right? So this is very critical anytime you work with human subjects. In our case, we don't have to do this because it's purely internal to our class, right? So that's fine. But if you find yourself maybe thinking about publishing something, or you are in graduate school, right? IRB is a huge, important step, really just to protect humans, right? And their privacy. So make sure you do that. This assignment is pretty straightforward. So make sure you do that. Now Monday is of course a holiday, so let's time manage properly this weekend. A couple of other things I want to show you. Here's a fun little example of pie charts, right? Here is bad pie charts, right? Your classic example of poorly designed pie charts to begin with, and then again trying to use pie charts to compare a situation which is just not a good thing, right? Just in general, right? You're gonna use pie charts, make them look good, and try not to use 2 pie charts where you need to compare them. And then the author here goes through some steps on how to make those pie charts better, if that's your choice. And then of course at the bottom is, a much better approach here is not using pie charts at all, but bar charts. So that's pretty obvious. So this is a fun follow if you're using Twitter. following junk charts is a fun is good because they post great examples of data viz all the time. And then the other thing I want to show you is this fun little game called Color Controversy. This is really fun to play. Is this purple or blue, right? And you just play this game and kind of doing sort of like almost like a crowdsourcing test, how different people perceive color, right? Well, this is probably pretty obvious. Let's try this, purple. Well, see, I was wrong, right? I called this purple, but I guess 80% of people consider this blue. So you can play around with this a little bit. Now that is purple. See, I'm completely off here, right? I call this a red. Anyways, it's a fun game. Try it out and you can kind of get a sense of what colors tend to be maybe more obvious to people, or maybe which colors tend to be a little bit more difficult for people to interpret. And that, of course, then might be something you want to incorporate into your database. Okay, so that's all I had to say. Thanks for watching.